guys, so today we will talk about the 10 best coaches in the NBA in the 2021-2022 season. So it's not Gregg Popovich, Monty Williams, Nick Nurse, it's Steve Kerr. So who's the first NBA coach this year? Let's find out and let's start. Top 10 in our class is Coach Tom Thibodeau of the New York Knicks. Well, the Knicks vaulted back into relevancy last season, making their first playoff appearance in 7 seasons and finishing with the 4th best record in the Eastern Conference. And Tom Thibodeau deserves a ton of credit with it. Tibbs instilled his best defense-first mindset into the Knicks as they brought the physical, hard-hit style back to MSG, finishing with the 4th best defense in the league while helping Julius Randle blossom into an all-star. Well, the whole roster bought into what Thibodeau was trying to do, and it yielded immediate results. Now, with an improved roster heading into the 2021-22 season, the Knicks are here to stay, and we'll see how this squad will do in this season. I hope they do good. The 9th best coach in the league today is Vogel. The Lakers went out in the first round last season, but injuries played a bigger role in that than anything on the coaching side. Let's not forget, just a season ago, Vogel led the Lakers to the NBA championship. Now, with a nearly entirely new group of players alongside the foundations of LeBron James and Anthony Davis, Vogel has a veteran team at his disposal, but making the pieces all fit together is going to make for interesting viewing in 2021-22. Can he get them to buy into the defensive identity that led them to a ring in 2020? I hope so, because this squad is a lot amazing than the last one. But they have also lost a lot of defensive players like KCP, Harold, Kuzma, and Alex Caruso. So we'll see how this Laker team will do this season. I hope they do good because they have a lot of superstars here. But other teams are telling that they are very old and they can't do anything. Number 8 best coach in the league is Quinn Snyder of the Utah Jazz. While the Jazz went out in the second round of the playoffs last season, they were by far and away the best team in the regular season, finishing with a league best record of 52-20 loss. Not only were the Jazz winning games, they were getting it done on both ends of the court, with the 3rd best defense and 4th best offense in the league, fueled by Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. The Jazz have improved in every season under Snyder and has proven he can win games in the regular season, but 2021-22 will be focused on converting that into post-season success because all of the other teams are telling that Utah Jazz is just good in regular season, not in playoffs. 7th on our list is Rick Carlisle of the Dallas Mavericks. Carlisle is widely regarded as the best coach in the NBA in recent years, and after taking the young Dallas Mavericks to the playoffs for the last 2 seasons, he now faces a fresh challenge in Indiana. Injuries have derailed the Pacers over the past few campaigns, but with a healthy Malcolm Brogdon, TJ Warren, Caris LeVert, Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner lineup at his disposal, Carlisle could make the Pacers one of the surprise teams in the East if they can stay on the floor together, just like what he did on the Dallas Mavericks teams. Can you see how far the Dallas Mavericks came last season? Well, they just went in the playoffs again, right? With the help of Rick Carlisle, team management, and defensive mindset, well, this team gets top this season. So we'll see how Rick Carlisle do in Indiana. Next on our list is none other than Tyronn Lue of the LA Clippers. While the Clippers haven't yet turned the superstar duo of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George into NBA champions, Ty Lue deserves plenty of credit for taking them to their first ever Western Conference Finals appearance in the franchise history. With Leonard struggling with injuries last season, it could have been a different story for Lue. But with a wide open Western Conference this season, I expect the Clippers to be there at the business at the end of the season once again. But it's gonna be tough for the LA Clippers, right? Because other teams in the West have a lot of additional players. But who knows? Because last season they've already do good. They've already went into the finals, right? Without Kawhi Leonard. So we'll see how they do if they have the great duo in the NBA. Number 5 on our list is none other than Steve Kerr of the Golden State Warriors. 5 straight trips to the NBA Finals, and 3 rings later. Kerr has been the most successful coach in the NBA over the past decade, but the past 2 seasons have been well below par, going 54-83 over the span. Injuries to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson have derailed the Warriors in the span, but with the Splash Brothers back to full health, the Warriors look ready to resume their place in the top tier of Western Conference teams, having their additional player like Otto Porter Jr., James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, and James Moody. It's gonna be a very good play in this team, okay? So it's gonna be a good wait for us for the Warriors team. The Splash Brothers will go back, Jonathan Kuminga will be added, James Wiseman is gonna be a monster under the rim, adding with the defensive end of the Warriors with Draymond Green. So I'm very excited with this team, guys. 4 on our list is a veteran coach, Gregg Popovich of the San Antonio Spurs. Among the highest rated coach, Popovich had the biggest disparity in voting, and given the Spurs' inability to make the playoffs in consecutive years after a record 22 straight appearances, that is somewhat justified. However, the roster right now looks nothing like the ones that dominated for multiple generations. With Patty Mills leaving in the offseason together with DeMar DeRozan, the last of the Spurs' title-winning players departs, officially bringing forth a new era in San Antonio, as they look to continue to develop their young core of DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Lonnie Walker IV, and Keldon Johnson. Well, I think this roster is still an amazing one. And if you know, Gregg Popovich is a veteran coach. The Spurs has won a lot of ring in the NBA. So we'll see how Coach Gregg Popovich will do in this new era of the San Antonio Spurs. Well, we all know that Coach Popovich is a very amazing coach, okay? Just like what we seen in the player that he coached before, like Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and a lot more. Right down on our top 3 coach is Monty Williams of the Phoenix Suns. In just 2 seasons, Monty Williams lifted the Suns from a 19-win team to the NBA Finals. A remarkable achievement, right? Given the franchise once bleak outlook. The addition of Chris Paul and the continued development of Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, and DeAndre Ayton has turned the Suns into legitimate title contenders, and perhaps way ahead of schedule. Now they have a taste of the big stage. The Suns' young players have been emboldened by the trust Williams showed in them during their playoff run. Sure, Paul will be 1 year older, but I expect Phoenix will prove last season was no fluke. And as you can see, this last season, they have turned us a monster in the league. Second best coach in the league right now is, of course, Nick Nurse of the Toronto Raptors. Why? Is there a coach that gets more out his players than Nick Nurse? No. For all the creative X and O's in game management and box and ones, Nick Nurse have been a success in Toronto, getting his troops to play above themselves. For example, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and give younger players a license to express themselves, like Chris Boucher, guys, if you know him. Armed with number 4 overall draft pick Scotty Barnes, I'm so excited to see what Nurse does with a talented forward in his rookie campaign as the Raptors look to go from the lottery back into the postseason. So this coach is very amazing, guys. He's the only coach in the NBA that is giving a go to all of his young players, right? Like this, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and they got the number 4 best pick now, Scotty Barnes. Top 1 coach in the league. We've got Erik Spoelstra of the Miami Heat. Well, okay, I know. A lot of you will say, what? Erik Spoelstra? Why is that? Well, the Miami Heat coach was nearly a unanimous decision with just 2 second-place votes in our rankings, and it's easy to see why he received 46% of the votes per best head coach in last seasons. Okay, stats under the GM survey of the NBA.com. Spoelstra is the picture of consistency and already boasts one of the best coaching resumes in the league, and after taking the Heat to the NBA Finals in 2020, this season they look like the team's best place to unseat the Milwaukee Bucks and Brooklyn Nets at the top of the East. In recent years, Spoelstra teams have overachieved, but the current roster boasts the most talents he's had since the LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh years. Sure, there's a lot of new pieces to feed together, but Spoelstra has a proven track record of making things work with his system, so we'll see.